Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Back in the spring of 2020, we were just getting ready to celebrate the beginning of Lent, and a friend and I were talking about our goals for Lent. So my New Year's resolution in 2020 was to normalize my relationship with food. I had just lost a job over a food craving disaster, to say the least. I won't get into the details here, but I lost a job over it. That's how crazy out of control food cravings used to be for me. I haven't lost any jobs over food cravings since then, but at the same time, there's definitely more work to be done about my eating desires. Let's put it that way. My friend needed to quit smoking, and so we made a pact. I was going to do regular intermittent fast during the Lent holiday, and I've been doing intermittent fasting for 3 years now, and he was going to quit smoking for Lent. But when he put it that way, I got concerned because he said quit smoking for Lent, not I'm going to quit smoking and reevaluate during Lent if I like it that way and stay off, right? That's the attitude I wanted him to go off in. And so I asked him what the motivation for him wanting to quit smoking was. And I thought he would think about all the money he was going to save, but he's relatively well off. The money for smoking didn't bother him. What bothered him was that he had to go outside. His apartment had recently banned smoking inside the building. He had to go outside to smoke. It was 30 degrees. I don't want to go out. It's freezing. And that gave me even more concern because I wondered if he would still feel that way by the time Easter came around. And so we left it at that. I thought, well, when we get closer to Easter, I'll check in with him again. That's what I thought. Lent was, I think, mid-February that year. Okay. Now, my main motivation for intermittent fasting was my out-of-control eating habits, but secondarily, it was the financial aspect of it. Got to remember, this is February of 2020 we're talking about. We still had a lot of ambitions on traveling somewhere. We were only going to lock down 2 weeks, and I thought to myself, if I just save up the money from not binge eating, and I thought to myself, if I could stop eating altogether. I mean, I'm talking about him not smoking so he can go on a vacation this summer. But if I stop eating together, I could go on 4 or 5 vacations in 1 year, right? And then as I was thinking about that, I realized I needed to go poop. And that became, oh my God, if I could stop eating, I could stop pooping. I had a really bad smelling poop that day for some reason. That gave me another thought of, oh man, one day if I stop eating altogether. Now, then we went into quarantine. And I asked, we got closer to Easter, and I gave my friend a call, and he said that, yeah, he's still off smoking. I said, oh, good. I knew you didn't want to go out when it's freezing, but look at all the money you're saving. He said, no, that's not the reason I want to stay off smoking. I said, well, what happened? He's kind of racist. He says, I don't want to go out there and catch the Chinese virus. And that was great. But I worried when the Chinese virus is all said and done if he would still feel that way about it. And sadly, I was correct. He did slip a few times between then and now, but I think for the most part, he still wants to get off smoking. So that's good. Now, fast forward 3 years later, I now do like to have a leisurely meal. I'm no longer thinking about, oh my God, I wish I could stop eating altogether. But eating takes a big bite out of my schedule, unfortunately. Now, 3 years later, I have a new hobby. I have new career ambitions. A lot of times I forget to eat altogether. Between my art projects and my new job, eating really does slip my mind sometimes, unfortunately. Well, it's a mixed bag. It's unfortunate, but also there are health benefits to fasting 30-some hours. A lot of times nowadays, I fast 30-some hours inadvertently. 3 years ago, I actually had to think in order to fast 30-some hours. And the other reason that I sometimes don't eat everything that I want to eat is that ever since I started making Bismuth art, now it feels like I'm on a bismuth currency standard. Every time I go to the store and I see a price tag, it's like how many pounds of bismuth that is, and it becomes very unappetizing. It almost gives the food a little bit of an aftertaste, right? So at least I have more control over my eating faculties. Actually, it's the other way around sometimes now. My job and my other career ambitions sometimes force me to eat in an abnormal way, right? 3 years ago, my abnormal ways were causing me to lose my job, right? So just a really unusual roller coaster of my relationship with my food over the last 3.5 years. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.